words singing from Burngreave Sabbath School children in Sheffield, England, cheer your heart? And what about these lovely pictures? In today's Words of Hope, we ask our Executive Secretary, Audrey Anderson, why children's paintings now seem to be decorating the TED office. We catch up with Newbold Principal John Beldam on an empty college campus and ask him about the joys and challenges of teaching going online. And then, as a follow-up to last week's program, Victor Hulbert takes to the countryside for a lesson on reinventing Sabbath.
Audrey, some of us have been complaining that the office, the physical office that we work in, that the walls were a little bit plain. And today I find in our virtual office, you've been doing some decorating. What's going on?
Isn't it wonderful? I always wanted to be an interior decorator. But really, these are pictures of gratitude. It all started because we have our virtual worship every morning. And because it's a virtual worship and we're at home, sometimes there are some children who creep onto their parents' knees and join us for worship. And I thought, if they were joining us for worship, they really are part of our TED family. And we would like to find a way to include them. And so the idea of a virtual TED art gallery was born. And so we invited our children to find ways, and we said it could be anything, but find a creative way to express gratitude. Gratitude for people who were helping them. And the results, I think, are absolutely wonderful.
This is a really unfair thing because you can never judge children's art, but are there any that kind of touch your heart as you look at them?
But they all do, all touch my heart in different ways, because it reflects the gorgeous artwork that says friends. And then you have the pennants that with the flag that reflects all the joy of VE Day, and then the nurses and the doctors and family, and the wonderful portrait of our Associate Treasurer, Mac Tennyson, done by a 3-year-old. And, you know, it's true, we never see ourselves as others see us. But, you know, have a look, it is just amazing.
So some of those portraits are the best. And I know for us as adults in the TED family, these pictures are cheering us up. As equally seeing the children in worship, it's really nice and really special. So thank you, Audrey, for organising that for us, bringing a little bit of cheer into what you like to call Marvellous Mondays. And from these wonderful children's drawings and artwork, let's go over to another place of beauty, the campus of Newbold College, which is actually, yes, it's looking stunningly beautiful, but it's a little bit empty, as we'll discover as we talk with John Beldam. John, I've just been walking around your campus and it is beautiful, it's stunning, the flowers, it's the best time of year to be here, and yet you're standing here on your own.
I am. The campus is fairly empty because, sadly, because of COVID-19. About 2 months ago, our students had to suddenly leave to all corners of the earth, and their lessons have been online. My colleagues have been working from home. The campus has been accessible only in an emergency or for people who need access for good reason. The campus is empty, but we work countless hours from home to keep the college running.
Well, that was my question in a sense, because the campus is empty, but Newbold life is continuing. How do you actually do that?
Are our students suffering?
Resources are made available through our librarians. Online lectures have been happening right through until a couple of weeks ago, and then students were into examination week. We're getting the summer mapped out as well with a variety of webinars, some one-on-one English language instruction, and we have now made the decision to give people plenty of advance warning that we will continue with online provision right up at least until January next year, so the first semester of the coming academic year. We're in very good company. Harvard University is going the same route. The University of Cambridge just 2 days ago agreed to continue with online provision right the way through the whole of the academic year 2020-2021.
Of course, the challenge is that Newbold does a lot of short-term courses where you have people coming in from North America, Brazil, Korea, China.
You're right, and financially it is something that we're working through. We're working through with our Board of Governors because we are losing out big time on a number of groups that come in. Typically at this time of year we might expect 160, 165 Brazilian young people. They're not coming. We would be anticipating our MA in leadership students. That's going to be done online. Our Doctor of Ministry students, that's going to be done online. Our Evangelism and Church Growth Symposium, that will also be done online. And I mentioned that we are offering one-to-one English language instruction. And even this morning, we've been devising instruction for people who teach English to speakers of other languages, particularly teachers in Brazil. So we will keep the fires burning, we'll keep some income coming in, but it's less than ideal.
In that you are teaching exclusively online for the summer and the next semester, does that actually maybe give an opportunity as well? And are our teaching staff, how are they coping with it?
Yep, teaching staff are gearing up even as I speak for a series of webinars in various subjects. And not only will we from 2021 offer an on-campus experience once again, but I see this as an opportunity for us to actually expand our online provision, which we could offer parallel to our traditional teaching. So I think in the long run we will actually benefit, and our students and supporters will benefit from the current situation.
Last week, our Ministerial Association Secretary, Patrick Johnson, shared ideas on making Sabbath meaningful as we slowly come out of lockdown and return to church. Audrey has also prepared some guidelines for return to church. But how have people responded to Patrick's ideas? Darren wrote, "We were doing live church and Sabbath too fast." Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head, Patrick. As a result of this, we were missing so much of God's blessings. Rachel also responded, "I love it. How nice to inject this type of rest into our lives, real rest. I let go a week's worries and bask in God's nature with my family, who are a safe place mentally. I come home feeling physically and spiritually rested. Sabbath moving forward needs to be more balanced. There is a place for corporate worship with a like-minded community and time to just give God on a more humble scale." And humble scale is what Victor Hulbert discovered during a Sabbath walk in the Surrey Hills in the south of England. Armed just with his smartphone and none of his normal gadgets, he tried to put into practice some of the things Patrick had been sharing. Enjoy his journey in this final part of our program.
I'm kind of breaking my own rules because today we said let's just spend time together, with Louisa, with my wife, and have a lovely day out in nature. And then we're going around and we find ourselves on a pilgrim's way. We walk up to a beautiful old church, St. Martha's Church on the top of a hill, and then we finish the day finding ourselves at this old Saxon church, no longer used as a church, but it's still a consecrated building, and it has worship here just to keep it consecrated. We were walking through what's quite a busy tourist route, and was a busy day with people getting out in the sunshine despite the strong winds, and interestingly with thousands of tourists that visit this walking route, we suddenly saw a granite stone with Bible texts on it, overlooking the beautiful South Downs that we're visiting here in Surrey. And it inspired me just because we were enjoying Sabbathing together, not in church because the churches are closed, but enjoying God's creation. We'd had our worship, we'd been on Zoom. We would like to be walking with our grandchildren. We couldn't because of social distancing. But we kept stopping every now and then, and Louisa would be saying, "Oh, let me just make a recording. I need to send a message to the children."
So, my darlings, you can see there is a badger hole where they live. But the badger didn't come out. I think they just come out at night anyway. But I think they're probably sleeping. So probably next time we see Mr. Badger.
We were actually having a lovely time. And maybe that's a little bit of what is meant in the fourth commandment when it talks about a Sabbath rest. Maybe that's what Jesus meant when he said, "Come aside and rest a while." So we're broken away from our normal routines and we spend time together, we talk together, we had a picnic, if you want to call it a fellowship lunch. In fact, we did it twice because we were enjoying it so much. And for me, this time together, time pulling back from the normal, this is a real blessing.